Hi, I'm Jordan. This is my dad, Jim, the grumpy plumber. So my wife and I are looking at buying a new house right now. So we're looking at all these houses, we're going through them, and we're asking my dad, what should we be looking for right now in regards to plumbing when you're buying a new house? Well, what things should we keep an eye on? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, my dad, Jim, has been a plumber for 48 years. He's a master plumber in Michigan and a C36 licensed plumbing contractor in California. He has saved my wife and I thousands of dollars, but you just gotta watch out. He gets a little bit grumpy when he's giving advice, so don't piss him off. So Dad, when someone's looking at buying a new house, kind of performing the inspection themselves, at least the initial inspection, what should they be looking for? Things that kind of stand out as a concern.
Well, you know, they're going to bring an inspector in. That's kind of the trend now, to have an inspector come in. But it's your house, you know. Open up underneath the vanities and look like, see if there's many water spots underneath there. Look at what kind of water piping you got. I mean, if you can go in the basement and look and see that you got copper, if you have PEX, you got to watch out for certain tubings. There's a gray tubing that came out about 30, 40 years ago, and they've had a lot of trouble with it. But it's the only one that's a solid gray tubing, and you don't want that in your house.
I think, is that more popular in the South, was it?
No, it was all over. It was put in modular homes. It was put in a lot of things. But they had a problem with not the tubing itself, but the clamping system. But you want to maybe turn on the faucets, flush the toilets, look at how old it is, look around the toilet, hang on to the toilet, give it a shake, see if it's loose. Kitchen faucets, you know, if they're pretty well beat up on things like that. But I mean, all that stuff can be replaced. You know, I mean, it's maybe negotiable in the price of it. You know, walk around outside, see if there's an access to the sewer line. You don't really need to have a blow-off valve or anything like that, what they call, or a mushroom to do certain things on city sewers, but you know, it might be required. But just look out, see what you got, and look out on how old the drain pipes are.
Like what, cast iron? Would that be a concern?
Yeah, cast iron, you know, there's nothing wrong with cast iron, but can get old. It can rot out quicker than plastic drain lines. And copper water lines, there's nothing wrong with copper. You know, the galvanized, you know, they've been around for a long, long time, longer than me. But still, it's a point that probably, you know, they could getting a little rusty on the inside, slowing down the water flow on it. You can see if it's got good water pressure in the house. Check the water heater out. I mean, we've been looking at houses with Jordan, and they, you know, every house in it had water heaters well over 20 years old, and they weren't draining them either, okay, because we asked.
And they're still working fine is what they said, but it was a concern if you have an old water heater.
If it's an old water heater, it's going to be, you might have to change it. You might want to change it to something new. Just little things like that. Kind of, you know, walk in and, you know, if you're going to flip a light switch, turn on the faucet.
How about any deal breakers? What would you think would be the biggest plumbing thing that would be like, oh wow, I need to negotiate a lower price, or maybe this isn't the house for me? Anything that you should be really worried about?
You know, you walk in and you have an inspector, and I found out that they all throw this big, huge price out that things have got to be fixed and stuff. Think about it for a little bit, okay? You know, it might not be that bad, or it might be, you know, but, you know, don't panic over a price of an inspector just telling you that, oh my, you're going to spend $100,000 to fix this house. If that's what you want to hear, good for you. But, you know, if you want that house, you got to look at it. Walk somebody in that maybe can give you more of an idea what's got to be done and what doesn't have to be done. You got to remember, you don't have to have everything done as soon as you walk in unless you're that kind of a person. But, you know, when I've always remodeled one room at a time.
How about that gray piping? Would that be a big concern? That'd be pretty expensive.
Yeah, it would be. It could be expensive. Our other son, we have two of these, but he had a house in Virginia that had a problem with the piping. He had to go through and change it all, which I forget how much it was, which I didn't think was a bad price, but they went through and changed it all to PEX tubing. But they had that gray tubing in there.
Yeah, it broke in their walls and caused mold while they were gone. So this is a pretty big deal. Yeah.
It was a big deal, but you know, he didn't let the guy scare him to death either.
Okay, great. We hope that helps. Good luck on your house hunting. And looking at plumbing items, look at all the trades, use a home inspector too, but then make sure you dig in those numbers for what the home inspector gives you. Sometimes home inspectors are alarmists. They try to give you really high inflated numbers. So go get somebody who has the right numbers, like the actual tradesman who would be doing the work or the general contractor. All right, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. Click subscribe for more Grumpy Plumber.
And have a good day.